Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. In today's video, as you can see by the whiteboard behind me, I'm going to be going over half of A Midsummer Night's Dream Act 4. Today, we're going to be covering really three basic parts of what makes up the first half of Act 4, which looks deep into Nick Bottom, Oberon, as well as Theseus's appearance into the act and the scene after some time of hiatus, a little bit of an absence, but we're going to go over this a little by little. I will read passages to you, I'll break things down, and I'll hopefully make this video as quick and comprehensive as possible. All right, the first thing that we should start off is obviously the beginning of Act 2. At the beginning of Act 2, we have a lot of people in the actual physical scene itself. We have Lysander, Demetrius, Helena, and Hermia in that scene, but they are sleeping, so nothing's really happening there. All right, Titania makes her way in, as well as Bottom. They come in together, because at this point she is in love with him because of the spell that has been cast upon her. Enter all four of her fairies as well, who are now serving as servants towards Bottom. All right. Meanwhile, Oberon is also in the scene, but he remains hidden behind Titania and Bottom and her fairies. So he is meant to be there, but not to be a part of the actual scene because he cannot be seen. You see how that works? All right. Without further ado, what happens is at the start of Act 4, Tanya comes in and she is absolutely enamored with Bottom. She is talking to him. She is saying, "Can I please pet your large ears?" Because he has a donkey head, right? It's meant to be comical. It's meant to be fun. She's really enjoying this time that she has with him, right? As we all know, she has relinquished control of her fairies to Bottom, so now he has the right to kind of tell them what to do and, what is it that he wants. I want to point out this one passage that I found to be pretty hysterical, pretty fun. And I want to make sure that you all be a part of that as well, because right at the beginning, kind of halfway through, Bottom says, "Monsieur Cobweb, good monsieur, get your weapons in your hand and kill me a red-hipped humblebee on the top of that thistle. And, good monsieur, bring me the honey bag. Do not fret yourself too much in the action, monsieur. And good monsieur, have a care the honey bag breaks not. I would be loath to have you overflown with a honey bag, signor." Right? He's using these words, monsieur, signor, these uppity kind of like what we could be describing as kind of, him trying to flare out the royalty in which he feels. Hence my note. He's treated like royalty because these fairies are looking after him, but he acts like it too. He wants to do all these things to try to get them to, understand that he's sophisticated, if you will. A little bit further later, Bottom says, "Give me your nief, monsieur Mustard Seed. Pray you, leave the courtesy, good monsieur." Because Mustard Seed is bowing bowing in front of him, and Bottom is saying, "That's okay, you don't need to, put all that on." But Mustard Seed asks, "What's your will?" And Bottom says, "Nothing, good monsieur. Help, but to help Cavalry Cobweb to scratch. I must to the barber's, monsieur, for methinks I am marvelous hairy about the face, and I am such a tender ass. If my hair do but tickle me, I must scratch." Again, very comical line, very funny thing that Shakespeare throws in the mix. He's basically telling Mustard Seed, "Can you please just help Cobweb scratching my head? I'm really hairy right now. I got to go to the barber, because if not, this is just going to keep bothering me." I think that's something we can kind of all sympathize right now, is really us needing a trip to the barber. I know I probably should go get myself a haircut, but obviously that's not something that we can do right now. So hopefully, in a few weeks' time, that's something we can all make happen soon, and we're right there with Bottom, but hopefully not too soon. All right. Moving on, let's go ahead and keep going down this, all right? So Titania keeps asking Bottom, what does he want? What does he need? Bottom keeps responding that, this is what I would like. I would like some hay to eat. I would like, some dry oats. Titania offers to get him some nuts from a squirrel, blah, yada, 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 yada. This is just a simple exchange, which leads way to Bottom saying that he actually would like to just go to sleep, that he's pretty tired. Titania decides to join him in that and says, "Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. Let me just go to bed with you." And before you know it, they both, right, go to sleep. At this point, Robin Goodfellow comes in, Puck, right? And he goes to Oberon, who I need to remind you is hidden at this point watching all this transpire. And so Oberon says to him, and I will read you the entire passage. Okay, it is a bit long, so stay with me here. Oberon says, "Welcome, good Robin. Seest thou this sweet sight? Her dotage now I do begin to pity. For, meeting her late behind the wood, seeking sweet favors from this hateful fool, I did upbraid her and fall out with her. For she his hairy temples then had rounded, with a coronet of fresh and fragrant flowers. And that same dew, which sometime on the buds was wont to swell like a round and orient pearls, stood now within the pretty floweret's eyes, like tears that did their own disgrace bewail. When I had, at my pleasure, taunted her, and she in mild terms begged my patience, I then did ask of her changeling child, which straight she gave me, and her fairy sent to bear him to my bower in fairyland. And now I have the boy. I will undo this hateful imperfection of her eyes, and gentle Puck, take this transformed scalp from off the head of this Athenian swain, then that he waking when the other do, may all to Athens back again repair, and I think no more of this night's accidents, but as fierce vexation of a dream. But first I will release the fairy queen, squeezing flower juice into Titania's eyes. All right, basically at this point, Oberon has finally gotten what he was looking for, what he wants. He was finally able to get the Indian boy from Titania, because prior to this scene and what we're seeing here, he actually ran into Titania and gave her the business, made fun of her about being in love with Bottom because he does have a donkey head. She said, please leave her alone, stop being mean, I love him, you don't know what you're talking about. He asked in return for the Indian boy, and very quickly, just like that, she relinquished control of him to him, and he now has the boy back in fairyland, and everything that he was hoping to happen has now happened. However, he does assign Robin, Goodfellow Puck, the role of making sure that also Nick Bottom's head goes back to normal, and that everything that has happened, all right, everything that this is all just kind of like went down, everything that was a mistake, it's all to be righted right now. So it's like a dual figure. It's like, okay, cool, you're kind of rude and arrogant because you kind of got what you wanted in the end and that you're happy about that. But also you're kind of saying, like, no more accidents. We can't make mistakes like this again. This is not the right way to do things. I don't know. It's a weird unbalance. I don't know. That's left for you guys. You guys can make your own opinions about Oberon in that regard. I'm just kind of telling you the facts and the way it's working. But, you know, nevertheless, we do got to keep moving forward. So let's go ahead and do just that. So mission accomplished. All right, he has now poured this into Titania's eyes. He follows it by saying, be as thou wast wont to be, see as thou wast wont to see. Dian's bud over Cupid's flower hath such force and blessed power. Now, my Titania, wake you, my sweet queen. So now he has woken her back up. He has undone the spell. She says, my Oberon, what visions have I seen? Methought I was enamored of an ass, a.k.a. Oberon. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I had the craziest dream. I thought I was in love with an ass. And then he says, there lies your love. He points at Nick Bottom, literally lying down there, and says, yep, there he is. That's your love right there. He's right there on the ground. And she's so confused. And she says, how did this happen? What was going on? And he says, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll explain later. But in the meantime, all right, let's kind of like reconnect. All right, basically is what he's trying to say here. All right, let's see. And then he tries to make it so that that the four lovers who are already asleep will have the opportunity to keep sleeping beyond a normal time, because he wants to make sure they rest easy and that this thing all gets, you know, executed to the way it's supposed to be. So they do their fairy dance, they go about their business, they make that happen. All right, and then eventually Robin says, oh, I can hear the lark singing. That means that it is morning time. Like, morning is soon approaching. All right, we should probably get out of here. All right, and then Oberon says, in that case, let's go ahead and leave. All right, but before they leave, Titania says, great, as we leave, maybe you can explain to me why I was in love with that donkey-headed freak. But unfortunately, that's not something we get to see. It's just kind of a witty little last line that gets thrown at us. But you know what? That's okay. We'll appreciate it for what it's worth. All right, finally, we get to our third character who's finally come into the scene after a long time of his absence, after his hiatus, is Theseus, okay? Basically, he goes in, right? It is morning time. They're going to take the dogs out. I think it might be also implied that the dogs are on a hunting kind of like thing. They might be hunting. It is the morning of their wedding. They're just going out to get some fresh air, and they're going about their business, right? And they're talking about their dogs and how sweet they are and how majestic they are, stuff like that, until eventually, all right, they come across the four sleeping lovers in the forest outside of Athens. And Theseus says, but soft, what nymphs are these? Who are these people? And Aegeus confirms who they are and says, my lord, this is my daughter here asleep. And this is Lysander. This Demetrius is. This Helena, old Neater's Helena. I wonder of their being here together. So he confirms that it is the four lovers, and then he wonders why they're all here in the same place and asleep. Theseus says, no doubt, this is great, he gives them so much credit. No doubt they rose up early to observe the rite of May. In hearing our intent, came here in grace, our solemnity. Basically, it's no doubt that they're up early because it's the day of the wedding and they want to make sure they meet us here to kind of give us congratulations, show that respect, and that's so nice of them. But speak, Aegeus, he follows it with these last 2 lines. But speak, Aegeus, is not this the day that Hermia should give answer of her choice? AKA, wasn't today the day we said that she needs to say what her decision's going to be? Either live life as a nun, either marry Demetrius like her dad wants her to, or either face the penalty of death. Today is judgment day. Today is decision day. And Aegeus confirms, says, it is, my lord. And so Theseus says, go bid the huntsmen wake them with their horns. All right, wind horns and shout within. They all wake up. To which Theseus says, good morrow, friends. St. Valentine is past. The day of love is gone. Begin these wood birds but to couple now. What is it that it's going to happen here? Why are you all here? What do you need to tell me? But we will leave it at that, and that's for next video, okay? Thank you, everybody, once again, for tuning in to today's video. I hope that I went through this very quickly and very comprehensively. I hope you got a lot out of this. All right, I hope that this is super easy to hopefully understand. You're kind of getting how these things are going, and you're keeping in mind all the things we've learned from the past to bring them into now, all right? All right, folks, with that being said, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. You're always free to email me. You're always free to get in touch with me and get in contact with me if you want to set something up one-on-one. I have no problem setting aside a time for you. Otherwise, I look forward to meeting with you in our video calls. I hope that you are taking the time to read through this, process it, and really understand and get the most out of it. All right, make sure you're staying on top of your assignments, okay, that you're trying your best to complete them on time and that you're getting in touch with me if you need support. All right, otherwise, again, thank you so much. And as always, folks, take care, be well, and keep on keeping on. I'll see you next time.